Well, this morning we hear from Representative Tulsi Gabbard on the latest issues from our nation's capital, from the threat of nuclear strikes from North Korea to the ongoing sequestration effects right here in the islands. And joining us this morning is Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Maya. Good to be here.
So let's talk about North Korea. And you just had a meeting yesterday about this with some military officials.
I did. I received a classified briefing from our Pacific Command military staff to give me an update on exactly what the situation is and the kind of threat that we're facing. And I think it's important now for us to recognize, as we all do here in Hawaii, but more importantly for our national leaders to recognize that North Korea does have the missile capabilities currently to reach the United States. Hawaii is within reach of their missiles. And we need to take that threat very seriously in making sure that we provide resources necessary with our missile defense capabilities and really look at the overall strategy that we're taking towards North Korea so that we're not constantly caught in this endless cycle of threats that we in Hawaii face more than anywhere else.
You know, for the everyday person, you know, they're hearing this on the news. I mean, should people be on edge? I know a lot of tourism officials are looking at this as having a potential impact. How do you think that the everyday person should really take this news about North Korea?
Well, again, I think it's important for us to take these threats seriously, as anyone who makes threats against the United States should. North Korea is not a paper tiger, as they say. And what actions we take from here, what military capabilities that we have to make sure that not only we're able to respond to an attack, but that we're able to prevent an attack is really critical, and is something that I'm working hard to make sure Hawaii's families' voices are heard in that we're taking those right steps.
You know, looking at the federal budget cuts, there was a little bit of good news from the construction industry, and they're saying that perhaps the impact won't be as hard to the construction industry because of federal budget cuts. What are you looking at now as sequestration effects are really starting to roll into the islands?
Well, I think there's no question, and I spoke about this a lot before, about how these arbitrary across-the-board cuts really hurt working families the most, really hurt middle-class families the most. What we were able to pass with the continuing resolution and funding the government through the end of the year was far from perfect, but it did help in a little bit of ways to help nullify some of those furloughs and some of those negative repercussions that we were starting to see. So cuts will still be made. We need to look at our federal deficit and see how we can do things in a balanced way to cut the fat, but make sure that we're doing things better in how we're spending and caring for taxpayer dollars.
One thing that I know that you're particularly proud of is the Helping Heroes Fly Act.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Sure. We had a hearing actually just last week in Congress with the Homeland Security Committee talking about some of our severely disabled and wounded warriors who are going through traveling, whether to or from care with their families. And we're facing some very difficult situations going through TSA, being asked to remove their prosthetic limbs and having their privacy invaded. I introduced the Helping Heroes Fly Act along with Republicans and Democrats on the committee, and was very happy to see TSA respond quickly in that they are making changes to their program to make it so that our severely wounded warriors are not having to go through these the normal things that the rest of us go through as we go through TSA. So looking forward to getting that legislation passed and making those changes permanent.
Well, I know it's an issue very near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, thanks so much for visiting us this morning.
Thank you. Good to be here. Mahalo.
And to see this interview again, you can go to the top video section of our website, kitv.com. We'll be right back.